Ngiyabingelela, Salibonani, and welcome to the Girls Table podcast. I am your host, Bekezela Mguni. In our podcast today, we want to interrogate the role of digital activism in advocating for change. I am joined by Tariro Gurure, who is an inclusion practitioner. Tariro, welcome. And maybe for a start, Tariro, what motivated you to join digital activism, considering the risks and challenges in Zimbabwe?
Hi, BK. Thank you for having me on this Twitter space. I think the reason why I joined digital activism is because I realized that media being the fourth estate within any country, and then social media being like part of our lives, we could actually raise issues that are pertinent, issues that could drive social change, and having a voice that matters, that when you speak, people listen to you, and sometimes without even retweeting or liking or sharing your Facebook post or just watching your YouTube your YouTube or your TikTok videos, sometimes without even commenting, you already know that there's a level of following that or there's a level of impact that you raise within your peers and beyond. So for me, it was a way to say, oh, okay, I have people that are listening to me, I have people that actually following me. So let me raise issues to do with young people. Let me raise issues to do with persons with disabilities, but above all, issues to do with young women facing any form of injustice. So any form of injustice is what has driven me to be a digital activist. But also we do a lot of groundwork within activism and advocacy while we try to engage relevant authorities to just maybe eventually drive social change and get justice for all injustices that we may face as young people in Zimbabwe. Thank you so much. Of course, we fail a lot within advocacy, activism, and all that. But I feel that when we were getting into the space of elections within 2022, 2023, when we were having the register to vote, would speak to young people online, would speak to young people on the spaces that mattered. So we had the spaces with Twitter spaces or X spaces now. We had the WhatsApp conversations, we had the TikTok conversations. So if you actually go on my TikTok, I would do this go register to vote matters and why we should participate as young people. So for me, and also just being able to go into the community to mobilize young people to go register to vote, and having quite a big number of young people that were convinced by my voice to say, guys, asiyeni and go register to vote. So for me, that was the huge and biggest impact of my activism. But I just wanted to talk of a recent issue where one of the police, a policeman that had written to the human resource of the police station where he works to request that he be transferred and be closer to his child with a disability. Went viral. We tweeted about it. We tagged police of Zimbabwe, and I'm glad to say that it has been reversed. So I hope that this policeman will not be victimized by that, will be closer to his child with a disability and be able to nurture them and give them love regardless of what happened. I hope that this injustice that he was facing is corrected and all that. So this is a huge milestone. So we always look at a lot of issues, but issues to do with also women being part of this movement of digital activism, where sometimes when someone sees why you are doing this, they invite you to a space to say, Abagit, come and talk to young girls and tell them how they can also be safe and how they can speak their issues without being violent, like where you speak out, you're being violent, you're causing violence and all that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tariro, for sharing that story. I'm sure we are Sisiza as young people to understand the power of digital activism. Maybe mangabuza ukuthi while advocating for change, how do you ensure your safety and security?
I think with censorship, sometimes it's self-censorship, where you fear that if you say such things, you step on people's toes. And then when you step on people's toes, you know that you're not safe enough. You're not safe enough because you are not a ghost account. You are using your real name. You're using your real experiences. So they might be able to just type your name and find where you stay, or with a lot of issues that we have had of witnessed human rights violations. You might be violated against and so sometimes you just self-censor yourself. And of late, people are actually scared of speaking out because now we have the cyber bill, which is now law, I assume, where bayakulandela, and if you say something bad, you're not patriotic enough and things like that. But there are issues that need to be said without being questioned whether you're patriotic or what. If I have to be active and speak of the issues that affect me as a young person in Zimbabwe, then I should not fear being victimized. I should not fear that Nizoragasha online. I should not fear that I might find myself in trouble with the state. But anyway, the state has a mandate to make sure that its people is well taken care of. So these are young people, young women, persons with disabilities, the vulnerable people in the community. So yeah, we need to speak truth to power at all times and not fear anything, or not fear being victimized,
Have you ever encountered any instances of censorship or online harassment while engaging in digital activism, and how do you handle such situations?
I think digital activism speaks on what any other activism is, whether you're on the ground, whether you are in the community, whether you're in national spaces. Digital activism is now even a better voice, and making sure that we speak truth to power. It's now a platform where we are able to bring to account our government on certain issues, on certain ways, or certain things that we ought to ask for change, or we ought to demand from them. So if we have issues of corruption, we have the right to ask, where is this money? Why is this person walking free? Why is this person not being arrested when there's so much damning evidence against them? We have the power to write down and quote the Constitution on accountability. We have the right to ask our MPs, where and how did you use the constituency development fund? We have the power and the right to ask the councillor, how much and how did you use the retention funds, that is that one, the 3%. We have the power to ask ministers why they are not delivering on their mandate according to their work constitution and according to the national constitution. We have that power to ask them. So if you can't ask them physically, because they're not always physically present within all our communities, so we've got the power to ask them, and the government to take the president, to take the right ministries online, to ask them, Abagiti, why is there no working lift at Mhlahlandlela? Why is there no working lift at Bulawayo Tower Block? Why is there no working lift in any of the privately owned buildings in Bulawayo? Because I can't access them. It's not about privilege. It's not about what. It's about independence. For young people to be able to access things like, why is there no young person in your committee within the constituency? Why is there no young person in the youth ministry, leading the youth ministry? Things like that. We need to be able to ask and be socially accountable within the requirements of the constitution. Whatever you do, it is backed by the constitution, so you ought to also know your rights according to the constitution of Zimbabwe.
As a young person who is a digital activist, what advice would you give to other people, other young people who want to get involved in digital activism, especially considering our environment that is repressive?
Bekezela, young people can be supported by the actual fact that, are they willing to participate in these circles? Are they willing to participate in accountability sessions? Are they willing to participate in asking the right questions to the right relevant people? So if they are willing, and even if they are not willing, sometimes they don't have the information. Are we bringing the information to the young people? Are we bringing the right information to the young people? So if they are willing, and also if we give them the information that, come guys, let's train them, let's bring people that are capacitated to come and capacitate down to the grassroots and train young people and how to be safe, how to do this, how to fact check, and also to avoid disinformation and misinformation online. But above everything, to capacitate them on how to do it. If you have walked the path, if you have walked the path of digital activism, if you have walked the path of just being an activist, how you can do it, how you can capacitate them from the constitution right up to who they can contact in case they don't feel safe, in case they don't know what to do when they ask the right questions, or when they're in their activism mode. So yeah, we need to also add, maybe impart in knowledge, capacitate ontanga that don't have enough information. So if you have the information, you're capacitated enough, you've got the right to say, andanga ulo X yini, ndanga uFacebook wakho umsebenzisani, uTikTok wakho umsebenzisani. What do you think about water crisis? What do you think about the political landscape? What do you think about the economic landscape? And of late, what do you think about the Ziggy issue? You know, things like that. Would you like to talk about it in a very catchy way, in a content creation way, for young people to understand what you're talking about? If yes, can I help you? Can I help you open a TikTok account? Can I help you open the Twitter space? Can I help you grow your account so that we speak to more people, we engage beyond that? Thank you so much, Bekezela.
Thank you so much, Tariro, for an eye-opening conversation. I hope someone out there will listen to this podcast and understand the power of digital activism, inamandla digital activism. From me, your host Bekezela Mguni, and from the Girls Table, siyabonga kakhulu for your support. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. Twitter is table_girls, Facebook is the Girls Table, Instagram the.girls table, and please do visit our website page www.thegirlstable.org. Thank you so much.